And beginning with Ryan Kalkbrenner, I've meant to get to him in an individual video, but why I think the Lakers should target him if he would fall to their draft pick that they would eventually trade to, it would be a combination of rim protection, vertical threat ability, aka being a lob threat, ability to be a defensive anchor, and then simply being very NBA ready to fill a backup center spot in my opinion. I mean, he is a 5th-year college player, playing all 5 years at Creighton University in the Big East and definitely dominated it for about half a decade now too. Coming off a year of averaging 19.2 points per game, very impressive and one of the highest among centers at the D1 level, 8.7 rebounds per game, which believe it or not led the entire Big East conference, averaging 2.7 blocks per game, also leading his conference in blocks per game, and not to mention block rate, also leading in field goal percentage, having a 65.3% field goal conversion rate, also leading the Big East in 4 straight years, all the way from his sophomore year down to his 5th and final year of college. So very impressive, very efficient, very good at protecting the rim, and all around a pretty good traditional big man with some upside to be a modern NBA big too. Now I'm not sure I guarantee that to happen, but he did show a little bit of shooting upside during his 5th year, taking roughly 2 3-point shot attempts per game and knocking down 34.4% of them, only coming out to a grand total of 21 made 3-point shots on 61 total attempts, but definitely a good place to start out with. I mean, guys like Brook Lopez, for example, who is now one of the best 3-point shooting bigs in the entire league, if not the best, and one of the best floor spacing big of all time, only began taking them roughly 5 years into his NBA career. So Kalkbrenner definitely has time to go yet. And then on top of that, simply being a pretty versatile player offensively, between the low post scoring ability, having a little bit of high post ability, both in regard to seeing teammates and operating out the high post, scoring, looking for himself, or simply operating their offense a little bit. I think there's some upside there with Ryan Kalkbrenner too. It's not all defense for him, does have a pretty good soft touch around the rim, can be a lob threat, which obviously is very important for the Lakers and for Luka Doncic. Obviously him, and that's a big priority for what he wants to play with and what he likes to have around him at center. Kalkbrenner can do that. And then on top of that, between the rim protection and rebounding, definitely can fill the other parts being a traditional big, also being a pretty good rim runner and being a fairly decent athlete for his size. I mean, he did measure in at over 7'1" at the draft combine, also having a 7'6" wingspan, weighing in at roughly 260 pounds, so definitely has a filled out frame, and that's not a worry about him entering the NBA. Isn't a 19-year-old that's still trying to put on muscle or trying to work into his body and grow into it. That's not a problem with Ryan Kalkbrenner. But going back to his defense here, like I said, did lead the entire Big East in blocks per game last season, averaging 2.7 per game, translating to over 3 of them per 40 minutes, and then having a block rate of 7.5%, that being on his entire college career. But then I guess for a little bit of a red flag or something that might not translate well, that would be switchability on defense. Is a pretty decent vertical athlete, even is a pretty fast player for his height and size, but not a great lateral mobility kind of guy. Isn't going to be a switchable defender, will be more reliant on drop coverage in the NBA, barring him getting more athletic and kind of shocking me and every other scout for that fact, he probably won't be very switchable, which won't factor in well to some defensive schemes and schemes that a guy like JJ Redick does like to play at times, so gotta keep that in mind here too. But if he would fall to that 34th to 40th overall draft pick range, then I definitely would take a flyer on him. I mean, between the rim protection, between the low post scoring ability, between the rim running, the potential 3-point shooting upside, and simply finishing ability around the rim, I think he would definitely be worth it. And not to mention how NBA ready he is too. But I think that'll pretty much do it for this one. And if you enjoyed the video, then I'll greatly appreciate it if you dropped a like, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and hit that notification bell to never miss out when I upload a video. But as always, thank you for watching and have a great day or night.